feeling down, a little run out, tired? Maybe you just need some ramp. I don't know. Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. Here we are looking at my top 10 budget picks for ramp cards that will get you multiple basic lands. The go-tos. So first of all, Rampant Growth. For 1 green, this is a sorcery that lets you search your library for a basic land card. It is any type of land, which is nice. And it comes in tapped, then shuffle. Meh. I don't know. I feel like that's got power creeped out pretty hard. For 1 green, it's not terrible. But anyway, 34 cents. For 2 green, Cultivate lets you, once again at sorcery speed, search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, put 1 into the battlefield tapped and 1 into your hand. This can really do so much more for 1 extra colorless mana. Totally, I just think a massive improvement. Anyway, 66 cents. And finally, Path to Exile. This is just an incredible card. For 1 white ramp. So good already. But anyway, exile target creature. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card. Put that into the battlefield tap, then shuffle. So you can use this like on your own token creature or something, and that way you get your ramp, or use this aggressively against someone else near the end of the game, where it's like, yeah, they get 1 more land. Not that big a deal. Card draw is probably a bigger deal later in the game. Anyway, only 83 cents. Number 10. Okay, Perilous Forays, our background art. 3 green for this enchantment. Pay 1 mana, sacrifice a creature, search your library for a basic land card, then put that into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. So you can do this however many times as you've got mana, basically. Also having a sack outlet can be really useful. In the right deck, being able to sacrifice creatures is a very powerful effect. So this can easily double up. 3 green is high mana cost, but for what it can do in the right deck, definitely worth it. 186. Number 9. Boundless Realms. This is a weird one. So 6 and green for this sorcery. Search the library for up to X basic lands, where X is the number of lands you control. Then put them into the battlefield tapped, shuffle your library. So basically, you're going to get a whole bunch of lands. Then you can go get the same number of lands for 7 mana. 7 is not cheap, first of all. And secondly, you need a bunch of lands for this to be worthwhile. This isn't really so much about ramp. This is about like getting a bunch of lands in to set off your landfall trigger. In a landfall deck, this is absolutely like bordering on a possible win con. I don't want to call it a win con outright because people get angry when I use that term loosely. But anyway, which is fair, but yeah, it definitely could play a part in it. 129. Number 8. Okay, Spring Bloom Druid for 2 and a green. This is 1/1 elf druid. And when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice a land. Or you may sacrifice a land, I should say. If you do, search the library for up to 2 basic lands, put them into the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. So you cast them. Then you sacrifice one of the lands you used to cast them. And then, yeah, 2 things come in tapped. Yeah, it's tapped, but you're not giving up a tapped one is the main thing. It's especially, it can be very good in decks where you want to have like lands in your graveyard. If you've got like Delirium or Threshold or something that cares about having cards in your graveyard, you can really get advantage out of that. Also, if you got a way to like pull lands back out of your graveyard easily, then this is a pretty amazing card. Anyway, 19 cents. Remember, also flicker him to just keep doing it. Number 7. Nissa's Pilgrimage. Okay, this is not the only Nissa card on here. I guess it's not really a Nissa card. It's Nissa namesake card. Anyway, 2 and a green for this sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic forest cards. Reveal those cards, put them into one into the battlefield tapped, and the other into your hand. So basically, this is like Cultivate, right? Same casting cost, even. Really kind of an upgraded Cultivate, and we're going to get to the upgrade right here. If there are two or more instances and or sorceries in your graveyard, 2 or more is not a lot, right? Getting 2 instances to your graveyard, not that tricky. Anyway, if there are 2 or more, search your library for up to 3 basic forest cards instead of 2. Basically, that means 2 are going to your hand, 1 to the battlefield. Really, really good. Getting those land drops may not sound that impressive, but it is very, very good. Only 32 cents even. Number 6. Okay, Far Wanderings. For 2 and a green, this sorcery says, search your library for a basic land card, put the card into the battlefield tapped, or into play tapped, it means into the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Bad, right? That's a very bad. That's basically like a more expensive version of Rampant Growth. But Threshold. Instead, search your library for 3 basic land cards to put them into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Again, you have Threshold if there are 7 more cards in your graveyard. In the average game, you'll probably end up with 7 or more in your graveyard without really trying, right? There are plenty of games where even with the most minimal effort, you can probably get this done pretty quickly. You don't have to have like a mill deck or anything to be able to get 7 cards to your graveyard. Not that hard. And if you do, then hey, this becomes 3 basic lands in the battlefield for 3 mana. That's crazy. That is so good. 33 cents somehow. Sold out in South Korea also. Very frustrating. Number 5. Nissa's Expedition. I featured this one in a short before. 4 and a green. For this, it has Convoke. Okay, people... I said this was... You could cast this for free, and a bunch of people tried to correct me. I'm correct. Hear me out. Convoke, it lets you pay the colorless or this color as long as the unit is the creature you're tapping is that color. So if you've got like a green token creature or green any kind of creature, you can tap that and pay the green, and then 4 of any other creatures to cast this for free. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them into the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. Free ramp is just really, really good. Especially if you got a way to like untap things every turn, you're going to be able to like do this and have them untap for like the next combat. 10 cents only. Crazy. Number 4. Flare of Cultivation. So 1 green for this sorcery. You may search your you may sacrifice a non-token green creature rather than pay the spell's mana cost. So once again, you can cast it for 0. Green is also really good at pulling permanents back out of your graveyard, getting them into your hand. So you can like sacrifice that creature that maybe has a great entering effect, get it to your graveyard, put it back into your hand, play it again, and get that great effect again. And then search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal those cards, put 1 into the battlefield tapped and the other into your hand, then shuffle. Basically, Cultivate that you can do for free and get side benefits if you want to sack something. 114. Number 3. Rampant Rejuvenator. Here's our other background art for 3 and a green. So it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it, and when it dies, you can go get the number of basic lands equal to X, where X is its power. So it starts out at 2, and if you can proliferate, if you've got +1/+1 counters that you can keep throwing on it, if you've got equipment you can throw on it, if you can do whatever to make it more powerful, you're just going to turn this into like a massive amount of like lands you're just going to go grab. Pretty much, you can do that on 1 turn. Even cast it, it's 4 mana, it's not that bad, right? Cast it, equip something to it, sack it. Go get a whole mess of lands. Really, really good. They do come in tapped, but yeah. Oh, wait, no! Oh my. Just put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Whoa. They come in untapped. I think I didn't really read that properly before. This should probably be number 1 then. What? Like, yeah. So yeah, you can cast this, equip it, with some kind of artifact that'll, or some kind of equipment or whatever, do whatever trick to boost his power, sack it, and then just like get all of the lands into the battlefield untapped that turn. So yeah, there's your game plan right there. 190. Aye. Number 2. Celebrate the Harvest. For 3 and a green, search the library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the different number of powers among creatures you control. Put those cards to the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Okay, my number 3, I just realized, is better than this, but this is still very good, right? Getting a bunch of different powers of creatures is not that difficult, especially if you got like +1/+1 counters that you can distribute around. You can do this and make this into a pretty huge ramp spell. Anyway, 22 cents only. Whee! Number 1 is Harvest Season. This one's crazy. Okay, for 2 and a green, once again a sorcery. So basically the same cost as like Cultivate right there. Search your library for up to X basic land cards, where X is the number of tapped creatures you control. Put those cards into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Yeah, tapped again. My number 3 should be number 1. I gotta read more carefully. Hi. Yeah, anyway. This is still incredible. If you've got like, especially Saddle. Saddle lets you tap however many things you want. Even if it has Saddle 1, you can tap all of your creatures and be like, they're all saddling this one thing. Doesn't really make sense, but you can do it. It's allowed. So you can, tap everything with this one saddle creature, and then, just ramp like crazy. Especially if you've got a whole bunch of tokens, you can really abuse this. This is like just potentially, I don't even know how many cards, how many basic lands you could get to the battlefield tapped on one turn for 3 mana. Like, yay. 159. The list. Okay, Perilous Forays 186, Boundless Realms 129, Spring Bloom Druid 19 cents, Nissa's Pilgrimage 32 cents, Far Wanderings 33 cents. Again, Far Wanderings. Threshold is just so easy. Nissa's Expedition is only 10 cents. You can cast it for free. That's the only thing where it's like, does people not realize how easy Convoke is? Flare of Cultivation 114. Rampant Rejuvenator is up to 190. Actually, I checked this a few days ago and it was like 130, and it's gone up 60 cents in just the last few days. So if you're going to get it soon. Celebrate the Harvest 22 whole cents. And Harvest Season 159. Again, Rampant Rejuvenator should be my number 1. I misread it earlier. My bad. Anyway, it's good to learn. Take it easy.